Hello everyone, what's happening? I'm going to be going over this tank here today. We're going to be covering the cost, seeing what it actually costs to get to this point. As you can see that the live rock's in, the water's in. I do have a couple fish in there. They're mostly mollies, fairly inexpensive fish, just kind of to help create the cycle. This tank has been running for almost, well, a little over a month actually. I've been watching the water parameters. They're about ready to have corals, other fish added to it, that type of thing. I do have a fair amount of money into the tank already, and I don't even have corals or fish in it yet. So I have a lot of people asking, hey, what does it cost to do a setup like this? Is it something I want to do? Is it worth it? I'm going to be setting this up, and as I go, I'm going to be doing these videos. Right now I'm going to be doing a video showing what I have into it to this point without fish, well, aside from the molly, without fish and without coral. Once, I'm going to cover the stand, the tank cost, the test kits, everything I've purchased for the tank at this point. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going to start out here with some stuff I don't even actually have on the tank yet. I've been waiting to put this on. I guess some say you should have it on when it cycles. Some say wait till it's done. I decided to wait. I do have this on here. As I go, I'm going to be putting the prices on the picture so you can see what they were of individual. And then at the very end here, we'll have a little recap and we'll tally them all up and show you what they're all at. These are the Hana test kits. I just bought 3 of them for now. The phosphate, the calcium, and the alkalinity. I figured they were the 3 main ones that I wanted to use to get the accounts or the tank set up, make sure the parameters are running correctly. These are the 3 main ones I have. I do have some other test kits that aren't Hana. I'm thinking about upgrading 2 more Hana equipment. We'll see as time goes. This is another test kit I bought to make sure that I got the parameters correct for before I add corals and fish. I bought this one here. It's pretty it's fairly inexpensive test. Seems to work pretty good as long as you can make out the colors. I kind of like this test kit for the simplicity of it and the quickness. Okay, so here you can see I have a refractometer, which I highly recommend. I believe they are fairly accurate. They're easy to use. It's a really good piece of equipment. When I first started out, I did the hydrometer Fluval C. As far as I'm concerned, that can be thrown in the garbage. It's not very accurate as far as I'm concerned. The water only enters from the top. Simply, having it hang in the tank like it shows would never work because the water flow would never go in and out. It would keep the same water in the tester. So basically you would have to take this as an external test. And even then, I don't feel it's nearly as accurate. And then there's a little bottle of saline solution I bought to make sure that the fractometer is in the right specs. So I decided to go with this for the salt. I've had a lot of people tell me that this is pretty quality stuff. So far I can say I haven't noticed anything negative about it. It's pretty early on in the tank. I mean, my calcium levels, phosphates, everything all seem to be good right away and never really did go too far extreme bad before they started getting better. We'll see how it is once we get corals in, see how that goes going forward, but I believe that this was a pretty good choice. So I also purchased this. I haven't installed it in the tank as of yet. Obviously, at this point, with just the mollies in there, I didn't really have any reason to have it. Once I start adding corals and that type of thing, I'm going to be adding that in. I know that there's been some debate on this. Some people believe this brand is not worth the time. Some say it is. Some say you have to buy a expensive name brand. I'm actually not sure. I thought I'd try this. If it goes to heck, in a few months like they say it's gonna, then it'll be a lesson learned and I'll end up buying a more expensive one. If it doesn't though, I'm gonna be glad that I bought it and didn't spend the extra money. It's kind of going to be a test. I might actually buy a more expensive one here as well and do a comparison video in the future. I know Red Sea makes one. There's 3 or 4 other companies that make a lot more expensive ones. So we'll see what happens there. But this is actually probably the cheapest one on the market, and I'm not sure if that means it's only going to last a month or not, but we'll find out. I'll keep you updated on that as well. Just to get the cycle in the tank started, even though I have fish in there and live rock, I did leave the lights off pretty much for the first month to make sure that try and keep the algae down if at all possible. But I also did add this. It seems to, I don't know how it would have been without it, but with it, it did seem to work quite well. I'm not going to say that there's anything wrong with this. I did purchase a couple buckets, fairly inexpensive, but they are necessary when doing water changes, moving stuff around in the tank, that type of thing. I also believe that good success with a tank like this definitely starts with water quality. Now this is just a smaller unit, but again, the tank is only 32.5 gallons. Basically, once you fill it up, you're very rare going to do more than a 5, maybe 10 gallon water change unless there's some kind of emergency thing happening with your tank. I do also have a storage container that I purchased. Basically, it's just a garbage can that I have the water already made up in. And I also bought this digital thermometer here. I wanted to have a nice digital thermometer on the side of the tank. Looks like I do have it a couple degrees cooler than I'd actually like it. Have to do a little adjustment on that, but other than that, this has been a very impressive purchase for the money. Okay, I do apologize for the footage, but if you can see my fingertip here, right below there, that's where the heater is, the heater that I purchased for the tank. That is in the back of the tank. That's why I don't have it out where you can see it. But you can see almost the numbers on the top for the digital part of it. It's already in there, and I'm not going to take it out just for the video, but I am going to point out the fact that I did purchase one and have one listed here as part of the equipment needed. And then this little dealy bob right here, that's actually the sensor for the thermostat that I showed you a second ago. I did also purchase this test. I just wanted to see how it compared to the Hana test. Believe it or not, they were just about identical, just not far off from each other at all. But I did want to just throw that in there. This was a kind of an extra purchase I would not necessarily needed to make because I already had a calcium tester, but I did purchase it nonetheless. I did, on this here tank, I did also purchase 2 bags of this sand or gravel or crushed coral. I guess I'm not sure exactly what the proper term for it is, but there's 2 bags of that in there. And I do want to also mention that biomagnet clarifier that comes in the package works fantastic. I did use it here, and I couldn't believe how the very next day the water was clear, just like if it had never been clouded whatsoever. As you can tell on the tank here, I did just buy base rock. I didn't buy any live rock. I wanted to build it all. Basically, I built a whole structure. Have 2 videos on how I did it out of PVC and silicone. I just wanted to get this all set up in the tank exactly the way I wanted it. I wanted to drill holes in it. I have different holes drilled in it all over where I can put the coral plugs in. Hopefully that makes it a whole lot easier. I think I can eventually make this live rock over time, with the coralline algae and different things added to the tank. It's not going to be anything like what you'd get out of the ocean, but then again, I'm not going to bring on all the bad critters from the ocean either. I'll know exactly what's in my tank and what's not. I did actually over purchase on this. I probably have enough base rock to do a whole nother tank and maybe then some, but you can see down the side I have the back open, so it's not up against the wall, so there's and I have room to add some if I'd like to. There is PVC pipe inside of it that's holding it all together. That's also a little bit of an expense. Nothing major, however, it would be an added expense to the tank. I did purchase this stand for the tank, right straight from, basically from Fluval. It's a stand that's made just for this tank. I also did a video of basically unboxing and putting that together. If you wanted to watch that, that's on there as well. It's kind of a nice Then if you move up, this is the actual tank. You can see that the 32.5 gallon tank it's a pretty nice size, really. It comes with a light fixture on the inside, one. I am going to be buying a second light fixture that I was told when I called Fluval, the light fixture that they're selling as an add-on is actually not even released until sometime in June. There is another one that would fit in there, but the one that's actually designed for this tank, according to Fluval, will not even be released until June, and I plan on buying that one. I want to have that one in here so I have two lights. Not 100% sure what will be in the tank and if I'll need both lights. If I do need both lights, so they're going to be there. It's another reason why I've been kind of holding off on the corals and everything, the anemones, anything that I want to put in there. I want to make sure when I do it that not only is the water quality correct, but also the lighting is correct, because I don't want to have any, if I have problems, I don't want to have problems with that. You can notice this tank, it has the curved front, or side I should say. It also does come, as I did in another video, you can put an auto feeder in here, or it's a nice door for just feeding manually. All your, like if you have the protein skimmer, when I put that in, that'll go in where this cutout is. All my other accessories, pumps, heaters, that type of thing are all hidden back in here. It's really a nice streamlined setup, I believe. Then I do also have one of these. Let me bring it around to the front. Nothing fancy, just a algae scraper. Haven't really had to use it much. The mollies are pretty good algae eaters. I'm going to be sorry to see them go once I start adding other fish. Then I did also purchase this, which is a magnifying glass / algae cleaner. One side cleans the algae, the other side you can actually then see through the center in a magnifying. That way if you're looking at corals or want to take a picture, see the fish in there, they look bigger obviously. I just have it kind of hid on the side here for right now because I don't really have much use for it at the moment. But once I start adding corals and I do videos with the corals, I'm going to be using this to get close-up footage of them. Have to excuse the mess, but this is actually just the cheap garbage can I bought when I make the RO DI water. It goes in there, holds it for me. I can actually have it pre-mixed in there, ready to go. I did also buy a little pump and some hose for it so I can have the pump do some mixing. I purchased that for the same purpose of pulling it out of the garbage can for when I need it. Thought I'd throw this in here too, because this is actually the little pump that I purchased and the hose. And then there's some measuring cups I use for the sand, or for the salt, excuse me. I know none of this amounts to a whole lot, but everything adds up when you're looking at the total cost of it. So I thought I'd throw it in there just so a guy can be prepared for that as well. Alright, so just a quick tally up here then. As you can see in the video, I had the prices put on each item on there. That way you can add them up or see as we go. I'm just going to do a quick run over here of what I'm showing that I got for it. I'm showing that we have a Hana tester elk, which is 50, Hana phosphate 50, Hana calcium 50, the Fluval Flex Aquarium itself $395, Fluval Flex stand $249.95, Hagen Fluval saltwater heater, $23.95. Fluval protein skimmer, $59.99. Fritz Pro Salt, $23.95. Fluval hydrometer, $7.95. Carib Alive Bimini Pink Live Sand, $26.95 a bag times 2 for $53.90. LCD Aquarium thermometer, $6.79. A J-Code SCP-120 wave, $98.95. Salinity calibration fluid, $8.15. Fluval cycle, $8.96. Salinity refractometer, $17.95. 70 pounds base rock, $75.99. Like I said, I did over order there, so I wouldn't have had to spend quite that much. 2-in-1 aquarium magnifier glass / cleaner, $33.78. RO Buddie, $75. API calcium saltwater test, $12.09. API saltwater master kit, $37.31. 2 5-gallon buckets, $2.50 a piece, $5 for the pair. Plastic garbage can to hold my water, $8. Measuring cups, pump, and hose here for taking out the water and filling the can, $40. And an algae magnet for the tank, another $10. So you can see the total there I'm showing $14.01 if I did my math correct. There might be a few things here that I'm probably leaving out, just little things that I'm not thinking of right now. But I mean, that'll give you an idea. To get to this point, I don't even have corals or fish in the tank. I mean, there is a molly, which the 2 mollies that are in there I did pay $5 a piece for. You could add another 10 for that. The babies, they were just a bonus. But none of them will probably make it once I start putting in the live corals. They'll get, they'll either get stung, or the other fish I put in there, probably attack them. They don't mix well with the true marine fish. They do well in the salt water on their own, but not in a mixed tank. So I don't look for them to last. We'll see what happens there. I'm not going to take them out. We're going to see how it happens. I'm going to have some fairly mild fish in there for starters. I'm looking at getting in some Bengai cardinals, and then also, a blenny. I don't know yet, just a few things like that. I'm going to start out with the corals though, and then you'll see the price. I'll do another video after I add corals. Then you'll see where this price tag of $14.01 is fairly small compared to what's going to happen once I start adding corals and fish. This will give you a good idea of where the cost is going with this and what it costs to start up and maintain a saltwater tank. Even one of this size, which is only 32.5 gallons and is pretty much a complete unit. Imagine taking this and getting a 180 or 300 gallon tank, and then a sump and all the accessories needed for that. Then you can really start adding up the money. This is probably expensive, but also a reasonably inexpensive way to go into the saltwater hobby. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, subscribe, like, it helps out the channel. If you subscribe and like on the comment, YouTube likes to see that, helps me. I appreciate you. Have a good day.